The stories in this video are not stories at all, but articles. Articles about paranormal events that were published in real newspapers 100 years ago.
Have you ever considered how different people are? I've seen people claim their house was haunted whenever the wind howled or a floorboard creaked. And others could look a ghost straight in the eye and still claim it's not real. In tonight's article, we meet a family that doesn't believe in ghosts. At least, not for now.
It is believed that there is a house in Chartiers Township that is haunted. According to locals, at the witching hour, spirits can be heard walking all over the house and even on its roof. The ghost is called Chartiers Ghost, and it is said to have many forms. It has presented itself as both a black cloud and as a female figure wearing long clothes that drag across the floor. The house is older and in poor condition. It looks like the sort of house that one would expect to be haunted. A family has recently moved in from out of town without knowing about the hauntings. The father of the family who rented the house is a laborer in the city, and his wife and family are generally left alone. The first night they occupied the house, no noises were heard, and it's presumed that if the spirits did appear, the family, being exhausted from moving, slept soundly and did not hear them. After spending one night at the new home, the father went to the city for work, and the wife and children were left alone. That night, the spirits appeared. They glided from one room to another, upstairs and downstairs, through the hall, over the roof, out of the windows, across the yard. Anywhere and everywhere they could go to create the most surprise and terror. The lady of the house was courageous and did not panic at the happenings, but instead planned to scare off whatever was causing the madness. The next day, she brought a ferocious dog to the house. With the dog being in the house, the wife and children felt safe, and were sure there wouldn't be any trouble that night. But when the shadowy ghost appeared again, even the bold dog was afraid. His tail fell suddenly, and there was not any more fight or growl in him. Even after the dog hid from the ghost in fear, the lady of the house refused to believe that there was anything supernatural about the events. She decided she would stay in the house a few more days, expecting the mystery to clear up. She sent her husband a message, telling him of the strange occurrences and asking him to come home to see what was happening. The husband, much like his wife, did not believe in ghosts and was convinced all of the hauntings were nothing more than rats in imagination. Still, on the off chance someone was playing an ill-fitting prank on his family, he decided he would return home and invited a few of his workmates. That night, the men were having a pleasant evening. They were laughing and drinking, carrying on about how they would like to have a drink with the ghost, or speak with the ghost that were haunting the house. Their merriment was ended when the sound of clanking chains was heard. One man got up quickly and said, "There must be something going on in the stables." So he left to look in on the horses, but he found everything was in its proper condition. Before the men could again start drinking and making merry, the ghost-like cloud appeared. For all the talk of wanting to have a drink with the ghost and speak with the ghost, the men said nothing. The father of the house declared, "Seeing is believing," and he immediately woke up his wife and children and took them from the house.
Whoa! Someone give those ghosts a badge for getting non-believers to believe. It's funny how that works out. The husband and his friends sitting around, wishing a ghost would come talk to them, drink with them. But then when it shows up, they all panic and run. It's because people don't think things through. Hearing a story is significantly less creepy than living it. Now the husband thinks everything through and is constantly scared. His wife thought teaching him to bake might help him relax, but he said even that was too whiskey. Get it? Whiskey?